Hello? Oh, okay. I think things are working. Let me know if you can hear me. It's unfortunately going to be like 30 seconds of awkward silence for me because streaming 4K 60 FPS on YouTube is like a 30-second delay. I accidentally started the stream with the wrong OBS profile, so it might have been glitchy. Let me see if we're live. Let's see. Are we live? Is there a current live stream happening? Okay, I think it's working. Great. All right. I can hear me. Okay, good. The mic is on the left side only. Oh, okay. Hold on. I know how to fix that. I may know how to fix that. That is really weird. Why is it mono? Okay, is that better? Is it stereo now? I know. I do need to take a new photo of my new setup, although it's chaos. Unfortunately, I'm not the best at organizing my anything really. As you can tell by my it's been we're going to talk about some things, not just the project, but we're going to talk about my life in general and how chaotic things are. As you can tell, well, maybe you can't tell. I just have things everywhere. It's just a cluttered mess. Actually, the camera is zoomed out more than normal. Usually you see it at this. You see it about that zoomed in, so I get to cut off some of the junk, the clutter around, but it's easier to, if it's wider, for me to have it when I'm standing up here. Came for the expansion pack discussion. Thank you. Yeah, I will say these are the Klipsch RP600M, I think they're called. The reference. I don't know what the RP stands for. Something. But I got them on a good deal. They're okay. The problem is my basement here is actually so big this way that these have a little bit more like bass range frequency response than the other speakers in my life that I'm used to. So I know this is irrelevant to the this is irrelevant to the discussion, but as people are joining, actually I should probably post that I should probably copy this. I have, what is it called? Wharfdale. I have Wharfdale Diamond 220s upstairs in my living room. So these are the Klipsch RP600Ms. I actually just recently bought for my little for my desk setup here. I bought Kanto YU2s, and I have some older, smaller Klipsch, like 4-inch drivers. I don't remember what the model number is, but for my desk upstairs for work. So my cluttered mess looks so tidy. Yeah, okay. The older version, the RP150M. Okay, I know that Klipsch likes to completely explode their model numbers. They're okay. I to be honest, I don't like them as much as I like. I don't know. They're okay. I was not blown away by them, is what I'll say. Maybe you want more period accurate speakers. Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. I'm all for that vintage. This is not necessarily well, okay. It's like crossroad between vintage and modern in my budget. All right, so we're gonna edge toward the current topic, or the topic for tonight's video, or tonight's stream. I have been preparing. This is another story. I've been preparing my not preparing my taxes, but this year. I was convinced, I suppose, by a mentor friend of mine that I should be, what's the word? Not writing off, but yeah, I should be writing off the things that I buy for my channel on my taxes. And in the past, I have not been doing that. And I understand that writing off things on my taxes does not make items free, but I understand that you get a tax deduction, or my taxable income is lowered, is how it works, and that, you know, in a way I get a little bit of money back, which will be good, I think. So, anyways, I've been using QuickBooks to link my bank account, both my credit cards, everything that I use for the channel. I link that all into QuickBooks, and then QuickBooks lets you import them, all the transactions from any of those things, into their software, and then you can kind of label things I've been labeling things that are pertinent, like things that I bought for the channel specifically. And so far I've only gone through one credit card, and I actually bought a business credit, or not bought. I got a business credit card last year to keep track of separate expenses, like things that I buy specifically for the channel or for streaming or whatever. I pay with one card, but unfortunately, I because I'm so not used to that, I kind of accidentally bought things and back and forth, like personal things on it, and so it's kind of a big pain in the butt this year. So I also have to go through my personal credit card too, because I that's the most convenient, because that's wired up to all the, you know, PayPal and everything. Anyway, so just the business credit card, which I only got in like August or about August of last year, I spent over $5,000 on things that I would consider for the channel, and that's one of two credit cards. So I spent a lot of money, and I'll say that I have yet to make. I make probably $2,000, maybe $3,000 total per year on YouTube, AdSense. I have an Amazon affiliate account, PCBWay sponsorships. I have some other miscellaneous affiliate things that is negligible. Anyway, so I know that's not really relevant, but there's no way I'm making that much money back. So yeah, holy shit! There's so many comments. Okay, I like the new digs. The ceiling needs something. Yeah, I think for the ceiling, I would probably just paint it. Unfortunately, my house is built in 1950. That's not the unfortunate part, but let's see. Can you even see anything? Unfortunately, on this side, you can't really tell. Maybe you can see here. There are some copper pipes. You can't really tell that much, but I have hot water, radiator heat for this house, and this house was built in a time where the basements weren't really made for living, I guess, and so all the pipes come about at maximum they're like a foot below the ceiling. So my ceilings are probably only like 8 feet, and then some of the pipes are like a foot below that. So actually, when we moved in, this house had drop ceilings here, but they were kind of like deteriorating, and there was this like dust gets everywhere and on everything. So that was like one of the first things that we did when we moved in was tear out the drop ceiling. So I think eventually I might paint it, because I kind of like that look. Although I kind of bashed it at my friend's house when I was there. He has a painted ceiling, exposed beams and things, but you know, I don't know. It's happening. Actually, that's one of the things that I've been busy doing. If you haven't noticed, I haven't been making video. Okay, so let's get into this. If you haven't noticed, I have not released a video yet in January. The video, you know, I kind of gave myself this arbitrary due date of about a month of trying to make a video. So like one video per month. This month's video was supposed to be the open source expansion pack, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. But if you have seen my tweets, you know, so basically this stream is not. If you saw that post that I made on my Twitter, and I don't know if I made it at Blue Sky. I use some software to help me post on both Twitter and Blue Sky at the same time, and sometimes it hates me. So sometimes I just give up and just use Twitter, because that's what I prefer that, I guess. You know, whatever. Where was I going with that? Oh, yes. If you saw the post on Twitter about the open source Expansion Pak. I'm not going to, there's no other information really. If you read that, you already know what I'm going to talk about tonight. Tonight's stream is really about everybody else that didn't use or see that tweet, or if you're on YouTube, more than likely I have a lot more followers on YouTube. So this is for the YouTube people. Plus it's sort of like a yeah, I guess I'll say that this is also a sponsored stream. We'll slap that there. Here we go. Yeah, sweet. There you go. All right, you know what? I'll put it over here. Okay, cool. So this is sponsored by PCBWay. I don't know what I was talking about, so I'm gonna go back to comments before I get there. All good. Soon as you put more stuff in the room and on the walls, audio can sound better or worse. Yeah, it's really the bass response that changes drastically depending on where you are in a room. That's why if you've ever tried to put like surround sound that has speakers, or subwoofers, the subwoofer placement is the most delicate because if you have a single subwoofer, you can have a lot of dead zones, I suppose, in your room. So you have to do something called the subwoofer crawl, which is basically pick a spot that is going to be your like main listening location, okay? Put something on there where you can like elevate the subwoofer and put the subwoofer where you'd be sitting, where your head would be sitting. So like elevate the subwoofer and place it where you want to be sitting, your main listening location. Then you get around, you go on the floor, so you play some music that you know the bass part to, like if you know a song that has bass and you like that song, and so you know what sounds good and what doesn't sound good for that particular song. So you play that song, and then you get on your hands and knees and you like crawl around the room and you find what other location in the same room or in the room has the same loudness or the loudness that you want. And then that's where you have to put the subwoofer, because wherever that subwoofer is going to be, that's going to match where your listening location was. Okay, sorry, that's also not relevant to the thing, but yeah. Wow, YouTube live bug, it told me 160 more minute refresh. Yeah, well, when I was the Smash Network, when I started, I was on the wrong OBS profile and I had to restart, or I think I didn't like restart or like end the broadcast. I just stopped streaming. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Taxes are annoying. Yeah, just write it off. Yeah, pretty much. I made $0 a year on YouTube. Yeah, I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining, like I'm not making money. That is one of the primary motivations, of anything that I'm trying to do now, is obviously get to a point where I can, it's probably going to be the distant future, and this year is going to be even worse. I can't really talk about why this year is going to be worse, but soon I will, and it'll make more sense. But, the ultimate goal is to replace my job, but I'm not anywhere near that. So, yeah. Here we go. You're great on camera. I'm pretty sure you'll explode soon in views and popularity. Yeah, do what I can do the best I can do. The old joist couldn't be cut, so you have bulkheads for HVAC and pipes everywhere. Yeah. Right. Yeah, well, the newer houses, I'm kind of thankful that I have a beam that's in the middle of my, well, it's a wooden beam. Well, I guess I'm not really that thankful. It's not like I'm cutting through it. All the, there's gaps and stuff where I could pass wires and stuff. Okay, oh yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. One of the things that I've been doing is preparing the rest of the basement. Actually, behind me, or I'm facing it now. You guys can't see it, but, well, you know what? This is gonna work. This is the staircase. Oh gosh. Sorry, my giant box light is actually preventing you from seeing it. But over there, and more over there, is the same kind of paneling. But if I showed even more, actually, you know what? Here's what I can do. If I had more time, I would have set up the thing. Where I can stream from my phone, and I can't do that. So here, I'm gonna show you. Is this gonna work? Okay. Yeah. So, oh, Jesus. This is the worst. It's very overexposed. Okay, well, you can kind of tell the blown out part in the middle is actually it's the wall. So I took down the wood paneling and I can see the concrete wall. So basically it's down to the studs, but I'm gonna go even further and I'm actually gonna rebuild, I think I'm gonna rebuild the entire wall over here. Basically I'm refinishing this part of my eventually the whole basement, but one piece at a time, right? Because I can't I have too much stuff over here, so I need to fix this part and then move stuff over there, and then fix this part, and then yeah. But again, it all makes more sense in the future. I can't really tell you. It's nothing that fun, and it's not really channel relevant. It's a life change that you'll see. Hopefully it'll make more sense. Okay, sorry. Pretty interested in the N64 Pak. Oh, I think the thought process of the stream resembles the timeline from the movie Primer. Yeah, I watched that movie and I don't remember any of it. When I was younger, I watched it. So that, it do be like that. Pretty interested in this N64 Pak. This is like a memory upgrade. Not a memory upgrade, although I think there is plans to increase the amount of memory. I don't know how that will manifest in the actual gameplay. I don't know if there are any games that would be able to take care of that or take advantage of that. But in this case, this is just simply supposed to be a open source replica of the original expansion pack. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The official one slows down that Beetle racing game. Wonder how this one differs. Yeah, so in theory, it would be exactly the same. I think. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I'm supposed to get Flippy Bird next. Flippy Drive. I think that's what it's called. Flippy Drive. Next month we will see. Yeah, that's exciting for people that ordered last year. I always thought the subwoofer was extra deep sounds for your butt. Nice. Just the title alone, is this the year finally? Because I refuse to buy a 60. So no. If I'll explain more, but if this project actually was good, no, okay, that's a bad word. If this project was perfect, it would be about the same amount of money. Really, this is basically brand new. So yeah, it's kind of hard. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about yeah, but you'll probably be whelmed is how I would describe it. If this project was perfect, you'd be whelmed by the price to get it working. So keep waiting, I guess, is what I'll say. Eventually, I think there's got to be somebody that can make something that's like an FPGA recreation thing maybe sometime, but we see it. Make a whole new channel for the basement build. Yeah, the problem is I don't want it to come across like I am knowledgeable in building. I guess that's, I know that there are people that are, DIY and then they kind of explain it as such, but yeah, I don't know. I also am very, very, very slow at it. I understand the process, right? I understand the build process. I've watched a lot of videos. I understand electrical. I hope, I've done a lot of research and learning about proper wiring and things. So that's the part I'm confident in. The part I'm not confident in is like the actual building of the walls. And to some extent, I know how to do drywall stuff. So Flippy Drive, I call it Flippy Bird. Do you have chat set to live chat instead of top? Oh yeah, look at that. It's top right now. So I will change it to live. But it's basically the same because I don't really have top chat. I don't have that many chatters. Okay, all right. We're through the BS in the beginning. It only took about 23 minutes, but I think we have significant mass to start. My biggest issue isn't really the price. It's more the fact that I don't trust the age of the old used ones. Most of those RAM chips are older than me. I don't think you have to be concerned with the RAM chips. Although I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I'm not an expert. I'm not even like I don't know. I would not call myself like a hobbyist electrical engineer because I don't have the time really to investigate in that. But I could follow directions pretty well. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I have computers in the other room with RAM that are 15 years older than this. So I think we have a while to go before well, maybe not 15, 10 years, like 80s era RAM memory modules that are still surviving. So yeah, let's hope that a lot of those things are still working, because that's like the kingpin to a lot of technology that we have, I guess. Do you think it's possible to add more RAM to the that's one of the goals for one of the projects, I think, and we'll talk about it. So RAM bus chips will always be the old, new stock. Yeah. So all right, so let's get into it. I guess I'll start with the GitHub, or maybe I'll start like an introduction. If I had more time to prepare, I would have tried to also record this live stream and then edit into a video. My problem now is, well, I didn't have enough time tonight specifically to do that. The problem with editing the VOD, like I could just download the VOD and edit it. The problem is I like playing the background music in the background, and so if I do what I traditionally do when I edit YouTube videos, I like cut out all my pauses and things, and like that would just cause the audio to be like you just hear little parts of a song, and so I don't like that. So, or I don't think that would sound good. So in the future, I would like to have it where I will also be able to record. Oh, I guess I didn't. Okay, I'll circle back to why this is a live stream and not a video, I guess, later on. So somebody remind me later at the end of this live stream to talk about that. Yes. Okay, all right, so let's talk about it I'm gonna pull up the, not that, this? No, this is the newest one. Okay. Let's, I'm upside down. Okay, there we go. Sweet. Okay. Okay, hello. All right, so let's talk about what this project is. Okay, so there's a link in the description. I cautioned you, basically, do not make this project right now. I would wait until if there's a revision to this project, I'm gonna immediately build that project and try it on my own, and then I will let you know if it's good. So wait until you hear like an all clear, I guess, from me to build it. But the author is Mason Stooksbury, I guess. Also, I don't, not a single part of this video is going to be aimed at throwing shade or like trying to do any harm to this person, because I understand the amount of effort it takes to build any kind of open source project or any kind of project at all. So an open source project like this with no goal of like mass production or like selling this product, I want to be lenient on that sort of thing, because I understand that it's not every single project is going to be perfect all the time, and in fact, so I guess that's why I'm kind of not pushing this thing. I have to be more careful too, because in the past I've recommended like the Merlin Shaw NES Power Board back when it was had not been sort of I don't know if it's perfected, but improved with the help of Zaxor and things. So I have to make sure in the future that I'm not recommending something to people that is going to cause problems in the future, something that hasn't been vetted. So that's kind of a problem for me that I have to sort of deal with. So, okay, upside down. Sorry, yeah, it's confused. Okay, so OBS isn't set up to OBS setting it up to record locally is as easy as hitting a button. However, the settings for things like audio can be different. So basically, like I can choose, okay, only broadcast this channel, because with OBS you can have multiple channels of audio running at the same time. So I might be able to do like my voice on one channel, game audio on a second channel, and that allows me in the future, I can do things like EQ my voice or change the volume and make it better if my voice is on one channel, and then like lower music volume on a different channel, and then when I mix it back together to make a YouTube video or whatever, I can have more control on it that way. When I stream, it's basically you get one channel to stream, but you can configure it separately. So like your streaming stuff and your recording stuff is separate, and I just didn't get around to configuring the recording side stuff for this. So in the future, I could just record my voice or record my voice on one channel, music on another channel, and then I can go and edit it and fix it in the editing software. So didn't look to see if the audio channels would be recorded as separate streams in the local XLPY. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so that's what I was basically saying. I have not set that up, so that's why I couldn't record tonight. Okay, so back to Mason Stewksbury. So this is an open source project. It's a GitHub project here. So it's open source N64 Expansion Pak. I think it was written in KiCad or KiCad 8. So this is a good project. Well, this is a project that you should be able to pull up in KiCad or KiCad and kind of poke around at it, which is kind of cool. It's always nice when it's a KiCad project or KiCad project and not like an Eagle or what is it? Altum something? I don't know. Different brand, different company, PCB creator software. I'm sitting down because I can. Okay, so I will just say, so this is the project. It has everything. So it has the build materials. It has the BOM. So the build materials, it has the Gerber files that you can upload. Actually, is this the one that has the, yes, okay. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. The reason why I wanted to choose this project is because, oops, I probably should put, you know what I want to do? Yes, PCBWay. Yes, I'll put that up here for later. Okay. The entire reason that I wanted to use this project for a video was not because I was I didn't care that much that it was an open source expansion pack for the N64. I mean, that's a nice side fact, I guess, side goal. But I actually got some inspiration from Mason Stewksbury in his GitHub. He actually had, they have, I guess, I'm assuming Mason is a male, I guess. They have instructions here on how to use, there's a PCBWay plugin for KiCad or KiCad, I call it KiCad, that allows you to basically upload all the files. So the Gerber, the BOM, the Centroid file, which is the file that their pick and place machine uses to like actually place the physical items onto the board when they're assembling the board for you. So basically, it's a way to automate uploading everything to PCBWay. You do need to make some tweaks, like you might need to change the thickness or the if it's a Hassel versus Enig, you can change some things after the fact. But it uploads everything to PCBWay for you, which I thought was an amazing idea. And so that's what I wanted this video, the video that is yet to be made, obviously. I was going to choose this project to do it because, you know, kind of shout out to Mason for showing me, or for telling me. They did not make this plugin. I guess, I'm assuming maybe PCBWay, because it's from the PCBWay Plus or PCBWay.com blog. And it's kind of 2 years old, which is neat. So basically, this is a Altum. Yeah, Altum is what I was trying to think of, Greggles. Yep. The other software for making PCB designs and schematics and things. So with this plugin, you hook this up into KiCad or KiCad, and then it lets you basically press one button and it uploads everything to PCBWay. So yes, PCBWay is my sponsor for this video and other videos and stuff too. But I think that was But I thought that was an absolutely amazing idea. And I've come across actually multiple different subtypes of people, I suppose, that I think that this would be great for. And actually the whole idea of the video was going to be like, you know, in the future, these kind of hobbyist projects and maybe even more mainstream electronics, you might be able to like one click make a new item. So instead of you having to go to like the store to get an electronic device or something, you could just have it, you can order exactly what you want online, and then it would just come delivered to you in the mail, and then you'd have a working thing. Right, so I know that we're probably a long way away from there, but you know, the idea being PCBWay is kind of doing that today. So that was going to be the you know, the hook of the video was PCBWay is sort of enabling people to kind of do that today, like almost one-click order a whole project, including the bill of materials and things, and I guess compare the reality of that idea to the dream being one click. You know, it's already ready to go, kind of pre-prepared and ready for you to go. You don't have to solder anything, basically. So that was the whole premise of that video that I couldn't make because this project ended up not working. Again, we'll talk about that in a second. So that's what I wanted to talk about for PCBWay. You know, obviously thanks to them for sponsoring this video and a lot of the projects that I do. But sponsored or not, I think that this is legit. I'm not like, I hope people understand that I'm not being like, I'm not trying to hype up PCBWay. Like if there was a plugin for any other service that did the same thing, I think that would be cool too. Oh, so going back to, there are actually multiple types of people that I think that sort of one-click purchase thing would be good for. I mean, I guess the subset of people that I'm thinking about is all people that either don't want to learn how to solder, maybe they, afraid is not the right word, but maybe they have issues with, you know, maybe they don't want to have any sort of lead poisoning, like anything related to that. Like they don't want to do anything with lead. I mean, I guess lead-free solder obviously exists, but it's a little more finicky. So, or the other type of, you know, the other category of people are people that are not physically able to solder, which is a big, I think that's probably a large amount of people, right? So people that are interested in these kind of, right? Like who's not, like if you're interested in retro and you're interested in getting the best performance out of your retro consoles and you're into retro modding, you only really have a couple of choices, right? Do it yourself, right? Try to learn how to solder the thing yourself, or pay somebody else to do it. And, you know, that might be prohibitively expensive, the pay someone else to do it side. So having this one-click kind of having a pre-assembled PCB idea, I mean, obviously they're not going to like, PCBWay is never going to like have you send them your console. Like you're not going to be able to send PCBWay your console and they're going to like do the mod for you or something. It's just kind of a specific type of thing. So like anything that, like a new part that you want produced, whatever. So obviously it's not perfect all around, but the eventual goal being like, you know, automation of creating these electronics projects. So lead free the devil. So I hope that makes sense, and it wasn't a big ramble. It would have been more polished in a video, but that was the overall idea for why I chose this project, because it was kind of a simple thing, straightforward to understand for people to say like, okay, you know, maybe I want an expansion pack, but I don't really want to solder it, or I can't solder it, you know, to be able to do it this way. Now, I will say that I don't think that PCBWay is probably, I can't say that it's definitely not responsible, but I'm pretty sure that the assembled, because I ordered some of these project PCBs assembled through PCBWay. I don't think it was, because there's not that many components on this board. There's really like some resistors and capacitors on one side, and then the other side it's some RAM modules. So it's a very simple board. So I don't think it's the actual like assembly of the board that caused this problem. Yeah, that's what I'll say about that right now. So the whole reason. Okay, so let me start to get into the what happened, why I couldn't make the video. I think it was like in November. Was it in November? I gotta scroll back, scroll. Yeah, this. Scroll. Was it further back in here? Oh, so this is Consoles for You is working on a new version of this, so we'll kind of skip that. Okay, so let me start it this way. I was aware of this project, the open source expansion pack project, for a while, probably maybe 6 months or something. I knew about it. I think, so thankfully, because of the Wayback Machine, the archive.org Wayback Machine, when I first saw this project, the GitHub project, it did have this warning here. It said build at your own risk, and this was December of 2023. So not a month ago, this was a year and a month ago. Mason themselves put a warning on this repository that said basically they were having problems where, let's see, what do they say? After lots of testing, feel it has to be the pack. Not confident in the design, and it won't respond. Okay, so they said they tried it and it wouldn't respond. So they wanted to do more testing to find out what was really happening. Here, so this was a year and a month ago they posted this, but I was aware of this probably about 6 months ago, something like that. So then, Consoles for You posted in November of last year. They said, you know, we need to talk about this open source expansion pack project. That's referencing this project, the Mason Stewksbury project. They said it's an excellent but currently dangerous project. Since I own some of the RAM chips, I decided to order some OEXP. That's the acronym for open source expansion pack. Unfortunately, testing the first PCB instantly fried my N64. So I knew, and then they go on to say that the issue is the edge connector is designed symmetrically, and we'll talk about that. We're going to kind of do some close-ups here. So they knew that the project was there. It was problematic in November, and it I guess apparently killed one of their N64s then. However, then later on, so this is an older. Right, so because of the Wayback Machine, you can kind of view an older version of the same web page. So this web page was captured in, let's see, October. Oh, no. This is from January of 2024. So this this Wayback Machine capture is from early 2024, where they have the warning that that the project is not stable and basically don't do it. Then. Halfway through, I guess actually now that the timing of this now makes more sense, and I understand where I kind of went off the rails. I must have forgot about the project, and then I saw Consoles for You talk about how it was a dangerous project. Then when I went back to the GitHub page to view it again or something in the future or later on, I noticed that there was an update here on so this is a different capture. So the first one is from January of last year. This one is from December of last year. So this one is from a month ago, or the capture is from a month ago, but the update is from June of last year. Okay, so they said in this update in June, so this is actually before Consoles for You, so now I guess I understand that I shouldn't have done this no matter what, but I'm just kind of trying to piece together the puzzle pieces here. So June, they said that they fixed the N64 killer issue. The issue had to do with the shared ground between pins 2, 4, 10, and 14. Pin 14 has a special ground connection described in the data sheet as an analog ground, yada yada. So there's more details about them discovering an issue with the project. So then I must have not realized that this was before Consoles for You. So Consoles for You probably built the version that was the final update version. So they did update the N64 killer issue that Mason did with a fix. Now that I'm thinking about it again, Consoles for You probably tested the newer version, the one that I actually got. So I should have been more careful in the first place. So that's kind of my bad for not reading, I guess, not paying attention, I guess, to the timing. But I kind of forgot, either I forgot the Consoles for You thing, or I forgot that just the timing of things. And so I later, when I was going to order this, I saw the final update that the N64 killer issue was addressed, right? So I thought that this was referring to the Consoles for You issue, but that's impossible because that wouldn't have happened until November of later on in this year. So I had the idea to make the video about, hey, PCBWay can produce these, can assemble these for you. I ran into other problems that I'll talk about in a minute with the assembly part, but that's what kind of gave me the motivation to continue with the project, even though I remember that Consoles for You said that this was a bad project to produce. So I went ahead, because I saw this update, and I went ahead and had 5 of these boards produced. And I bought, this project uses a very specific, I think Alteracious mentioned that it uses a new old stock RAM module. So I actually bought 10 of them. Actually, you know what? Can I, is this on? Hello? What is this gonna look like? You guys gonna see my lap? Hey. So I bought a bunch of these RAM modules, and actually this was like, I think this was like over $100 for 10 pieces. So there's 8 left, because obviously you have to use 2 modules to produce to make one of these. So I didn't have PCBWay solder these pieces on, so I had them. I wanted them to assemble everything else, and we'll talk about their actual assembly. This is a different module, obviously. This is about the RAM installed. So they assembled the rest of it, but I was going to hand solder the memory modules. So these memory modules are very expensive. I think it was like, I think it's like $30 or $40 for a pair, for each pair. So it's like $20 a piece or something. Very expensive. Oh, the mics. Okay, hold on. Hello? That might be better. Hold on, I'm going to fix that so it doesn't happen again. Ooh, I also, this is a side note and nothing to do with this video, but I ordered, if you don't know, I have 2 Live Gamer 4K capture cards in this computer. That's what I use to capture the Morph and the RetroTink 4K. I have since then actually, I found on eBay, because I had an eBay search for the USB the HDMI 2.1 USB AverMedia card. So now I have a third 4K, but it can only capture 4K 422, I believe. So anyways, so that's kind of beside the point. So now I can actually switch between different things without having to worry about unplugging and plugging in things. But yeah, so anyways, so okay, I don't remember where we were. Okay, so yeah, so these are very expensive modules. So this particular part of the BOM is what makes this project still not a winner for a lot of people. The win, I suppose, is knowing that, well, actually these are new old stock, so these are not really, I don't think that these are the exact same RAM modules as in the original one, because this is the original. It only has 1 chip. So I'm guessing that the RAM, the memory density, what are these, like, how many megabytes are these? Like 4 or 2 or something? So the official expansion pack only has 1 chip, whereas the open source module takes 2 of those. So this is the prohibitively expensive part of this project still. I mean it's not prohibitively. It's basically, I think it was like the same cost. Like if you were gonna go by eBay pricing right now, it's like eBay pricing for these expansion modules is like $50. It's about eBay pricing, so it's like $50 a piece for everything, the memory, the build materials, and to have the PCBs produced. It's about the same price as just buying one on eBay. So yeah, that's neither here nor there. What did you miss? You didn't miss that much, right? Really? Oh, they're 8. So the original one was 8. So those are 2x4, I guess. 2x4. Oh no, you need 2 mega. According to the project here, it says you need 2 2-megabyte RAM modules. So that's what this is. That's what these are. And there's a link. There was a link here. Oh, it's because it's through the from the Wayback Machine. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, so there was a link here, and so I like, as soon as I found this project, I like spam bought the RAM, because I thought, because actually Mason mentioned that they might potentially like mass produce these to sell them or something. Not mass produce them, but like make a big batch and sell them to people. And so I was concerned that people were going to buy them out of stock, so I bought I bought enough pieces to make 5 expansion packs. So that's why I bought 10. And that was a lot of money. It was like, I don't know, $160 or something. Okay, so anyways, back to Where exactly was I? I don't know. This is chaos. I'm tired and I'm sort of yeah, crashing out. Okay. So let's see. We talked about the project. We talked about okay. Oh yeah. Yes, there is that was this final update is what kind of caused me to order the PCBs. And so I was preparing to make the video. And actually, okay, so let's talk about what happened on the PCBWay side of things. So I used the plugin. It was great. The plugin is awesome because it basically automates, you know, producing the Gerbers. A lot of times these open source projects, they actually do pre-generate the Gerber files for you, and they have them in a separate little folder. So all you really have to do is like copy or like zip the Gerber files and then upload those to like PCBWay or whatever to actually get the PCB layout and stuff to them. The plugin automates generating the Gerbers. It automates the generating a BOM, which is cool, and like uploading the BOM, and the Centroid file, which is that pick and place thing. So those are the three things that PCBWay needs in order to produce a project. So those are the three things. So I click the buttons. This particular project, you need to, let's see, they tell you that you need to change some things. Okay, here it is, make your own PCB. And actually it gives you a step-by-step guide on how to use the plugin, which is really cool, and that's what inspired me to make this video. So the thickness of the PCBs needed to be altered to be 1.2 millimeters instead of, I think 1.6 is the default. The minimum hole size needed to be adjusted or something. It has an edge connector. It says to use Hassel, but I did use Enig for both the fingers and the board itself. The edge connector, I mean, and the board itself. But it says you can use Hassel, I guess. I didn't do that. So it tells you how to actually order through the PCB or through PCBWay. Now, for sake of simplicity, the BOM, and as you can see by this picture, the BOM is actually very simplistic. It's like one type of capacitor, one type of resistor, and then the two RAM modules. Unfortunately, what happened is for some reason PCBWay. Okay, so when you give them the bill of materials to have them source, so like there's an option to have PCBWay source and assemble the PCB for you, which means that they are responsible for finding the parts. So you just have to give them the BOM, the bill of materials, which is basically I need X amount of this part and it goes here, or this part corresponds with this reference designator, which is the numbers on the board. So like here's C6, R13, C7, whatever. So it kind of maps the BOM, the bill of materials, to where they need to go on the board. So they actually handle like parsing the bill of materials file, and so they know, okay, the customer needs this many resistors of this value and this many capacitors of this value, and then they'll go find it in their local supplier, I suppose. They couldn't, for some reason, they could not find the capacitors. I don't know if it was because it was a unique value, capacitor value. I don't really remember right now, but they couldn't find it. So I'm just like, okay. I told PCBWay. So when PCBWay does the assembly service, they actually can message you. They message you like with questions. So first they kind of say, okay, we'll do a first pass. We'll go through your BOM. We'll try to source the pieces. And then they say, can you look at the BOM? Or if they have any questions, they'll kind of reach out to you and say, you know, we did the best we could. We need your help figuring out the rest of the BOM. Or if it's something like, for example, the RAM, like obviously the BOM is going to include the RAM, but I was not about to have them source, you know, $25 a piece RAM, and I wasn't going to wait that long. So I just told them to not source the capacitors that they couldn't find and the RAM modules that they couldn't find, or that I didn't want them to find. So I was going to assemble the rest of it. So really all they did was do the resistors on here, on all 5 boards. So I ordered the capacitors that locally, a different whatever, through Mouser. I ordered them through Mouser. They came in the mail. I had already ordered the RAM. The RAM modules are already here. And so part of the video was going to be, okay, you know, here's how you use this one-click PCB ordering thing to have the PCBs assembled. But obviously right now it's not a perfect system, right? If they don't have a part, or some of these, you know, retro projects, they might have pieces that are difficult for them to source, or they might be very expensive, and you're probably better off handling it yourself. So they kind of messaged me and they said, hey, we need your help figuring out the rest of the BOM before we can go ahead and produce the boards. So I said, okay, you know, skip the capacitors that you couldn't find and skip the RAM modules and start producing the PCBs and then soldering the resistors on there. So that probably took, to have them actually produce the boards, populate the boards, and then mail them to me, that was like maybe a week and a half. So, you know, it's not like instant, but it's a pretty good system. You know, I do have to mention that, you know, obviously they're a Chinese company. Their English might not be perfect, so sometimes you might have to. I believe you're actually talking to engineers, like people at PCBWay that are knowledgeable about PCB design and things. So you're not necessarily talking to a customer service representative, and I don't mean to say that in like a negative way. I just mean I work in software development, so sometimes I understand that different types of people in a company, they may have more or less technical knowledge, right? So you might get somebody who is more or less technically understanding of your situation and the project at hand. So you might have to still do some thinking yourself. So it's not yet, in my opinion, it's not yet to a point where you can say, I want this project, build it for me. I don't want to know anything about it. Just, I want to buy it. It's not quite there yet, in my opinion. But it's getting there, and it's still a cool service. So I'm trying it out as much as I can. Hey, Sia. Okay, so I got the boards back. This is like probably the beginning of January. I'd have to look it up when I got the actual PCBs, but it was probably toward the beginning of January. Actually, when did I make my tweet? Skibbity tweet. I didn't post it in Blue Sky, so I can't look there. When did I tweet that? Okay, January 16th. So it was like the middle of January now. I got all the parts in, and I built one board. And what I mean by built is I soldered the capacitors, which you can see at the top. So the capacitors up here and down here. So all they did was the black resistors there. That's what they soldered. And I did all the rest of the capacitors, which is not a problem. And then underneath here, I stuck a heatsink on, which is part of the BOM, or not part of the BOM, but their case design obviously features a giant hole in it, so that you can put one of these cheap aluminum heatsinks and stick it on there. So you can't really see the RAM modules, but they're in there. So I soldered the RAM modules on there too. And then, so I tested all this out before I wanted to start making the video. I wanted to make sure that one worked. So I think the first console that I had, so this is where the tragedy starts, and this is the unfortunate, I think it kind of, basically this whole month I've been just not feeling very positive. I've been feeling kind of down this whole month. And it's partly because of the winter. I think that a lot of people feel that way. When the winter comes, it sort of like bums you out. But this part really bummed me out. So this console, if you saw my video about the case, the Trogtech case, right, where the slideshow, what slideshow are we watching, huh? What the slideshow are we watching? Why you can't? It might be just you, Alterations. I hope it's not me. Can someone else confirm that I'm not lagging? Super lagging? Hopefully I'm not. Yes, winter is fine. Like when I was a kid, I used to like winter, but now it's like I just don't like the cold that much. I don't really go out that much, anyways. But anyway, so this was the first console, and I deeply regret choosing this as the first console. And now I'll talk about it. So this console is the Trogtech case, but inside of here is the N64 that I got from Dan from Pixel Effects. So this N64 Dan pre-soldered a retro gem, the N64 retro gem in it. Because if you didn't know, I'm also I'm working with, I guess is the word I'll use, is I'm working with Pixel Effects team to help them write the newsletter, if you didn't know that. But we had other ideas for me to help make some other content for Pixel Effects, and part of that was going to be taking like product photos of the retro gem stuff, like all the retro gems basically, starting with this N64. They did not send me this case, obviously, so I took the case that Dan sent me and I case swapped it to make the case video. So that's why the retro gem console is in here. Okay, so I think this was the first console that I tried. So I had it all together. I had the expansion pack because I wanted to test it before I even started the video. I put it in here the right way around. You might know that the original expansion pack actually is keyed. Keyed. One side has this bump out. I know it's hard to tell. Sorry. Oops. One side has this bump out, and the N64 shell actually has the same bump out. If you can tell, this part here is a bump out. Now, you can kind of see that this is not part of the problem. I'm just explaining something to you that I learned about this project. So it's just kind of a Snapple fact, and it's not part of the problem. If you don't put the heatsink on this, the RAM modules, like it kind of shows in the pictures, you could potentially actually put the open source expansion pack in either way around, because it does fit either way around. But the shell is ingeniously, I guess, or it was designed in a way where the heatsink would actually stick through the front of it, making it keyed. So with the heatsink on the expansion pack, it actually does fit in only one direction, which is kind of neat. So that's kind of a cool aspect of this project, is the heatsink as the key. So that's kind of neat. Anyway, so I guess I told you that because I'm pretty sure that I did not put the expansion pack module in backward. You cannot do that with the official expansion pack for two reasons. One, that key, the vent key I was talking to you about, but also they have this non-symmetrical red part at the top, which only fits flush one direction. You cannot put it in. You cannot put this in backwards. So you can't. There's no risk of ruining your console with the official one. There's also no risk of ruining your console just due to the direction because of the heatsink on this thing. So I guess that's what I wanted to say, was I think the design is cool. But anyway, so I boot up the console, this console with the expansion pack in it, right? So I've got it all hooked up. I got a game in. I also I think I had the summer cart in here. Maybe that was, I don't know if the cart can get damaged by this process, but I know my summer cart still works in another console, so I'm not. It did not damage the cart. I boot up the console, and so the light is on. So the light was red. It was just getting black video. Since this has a retro gem in it, I was getting so I had this console hooked up to the morph. The morph can detect when the console is turned on, like it's receiving a signal. So it can detect that it's receiving a signal. The retro gem was still working, but it was outputting black screen. So it was getting, because you could tell in the morph, you can see as soon as you get a signal, it tells you the horizontal and vertical resolution. It tells you that it's getting the signal in the sync. It shows you that the numbers of the resolution on the screen when you first boot the console. So the retro gem was still working. As far as I know, it still is working, but it was outputting a black screen. So I'm like, okay, maybe I did mess up, or maybe there's a problem with this particular console or something. So I turned off the console. I put this aside for a second. Then I had another console. I have about 4 or 5 N64s at this point with different mods in them. So this is the retro gem console. This console has a Ultra HDMI V2 in it. Okay, so I have it. This is modded with a different HDMI mod in it. So I put the expansion pack in here, turned it on, same thing. Light comes on, black screen. I'm like, oh, okay, this kind of sucks. Now what? So then later on, there was a little bit of time in between because I went to go do something else between when I tested these, the black screen happened, and when I figured out that it actually had killed these consoles. So I came back later. I put the original expansion pack into both of these consoles, and neither console would boot again. It would, the light was on. Some people have said that there's sometimes like there's a power supply issues where like the fuse gets reset or something. So some people thought it might have been that. I believe, as far as I know, if there's a power supply issue, the light in the front here actually is red, or not red, so it doesn't turn on. So when there's a power supply specific issue, I believe that light does not go on. The light went on for both of these, so it was not a power supply issue as far as I know in both of the cases. So that was when I sort of found out that both of these, and this is why I tweeted what I tweeted. I find out that I think both of these are dead. So I put a sticker on them. It says dead by Open Source X Pak. So I tweeted about this. I tweeted here on January 16th. It's kind of a relatively long thread. Oh, no, I tweeted before this saying, what did I say? I think I just tweeted a photo of, oh, here it is. I tweeted this photo on, okay, January 11th, apparently. So it was earlier than the 16th. So I tweeted this photo that I was working on this. This actually must have been just before I tested it and after I put it together. So I had assembled this, but I had not tested it, so I posted this picture. Almost immediately, I get a message from Consoles for You saying not to make this video, and that there was a problem with the project. So then I don't know how long it was, but I think it was a couple of hours or less than a few hours. I said, "Oh God, I may have killed 2 N64s with this." So this is what, after I tested it now, I realized that I effed up, and that the expansion packs are not good. Now, I've kind of been going back and forth a little bit with Consoles for You. I am aware, or they made me aware, and I don't know if this is supposed to be secret. I don't think it is, because I think they have posted a bunch of pictures about them working on a revision to the Open Source Expansion Pak project to make it actually work. So they're still working on that, but as far as I know. So they basically mentioned, they tried to figure it out themselves on their broken consoles, and they could not diagnose the issue. So, but they told me, they're working on making a revision that will actually work. I don't know when that's going to be. They didn't hint how long it's going to take. So for now, I'm just kind of this project is kind of on hold. Now, as far as why this project is not working, this is what I talked with Consoles for You a little bit about this. So let's get the microscope out for a minute. Let's switch to the microscope. Do I have a button for it on my Stream Deck? No, I don't. Okay, hello. So let's take a look at the, can we do a side by side? We might be able to. So I'm just going to put the real expansion pack on top of the new one. And try to line it up as best as I can. Okay. So, unfortunately, it's basically like millimeters difference between these two sets of pins, right? So obviously these are supposed to be exactly the same. It's supposed to be a replica, the open source pack, which is on the bottom. Let me see if I can get the sharpness better. Okay. As far as I know, the issues have to do with the thickness and the positioning of the ground I guess. Like, so the top is the original and the bottom is the reproduction. As you can see, this one is a little bit wider, the far right trace here that I'm pointing to here. This is a little bit too wide. Basically the dimensions are off, and I don't know how off they are, but they're not the same. So something related to that caused the short. Did you bring them back from the dead? No, I haven't brought them back from the dead. My ability for troubleshooting things like that is non-existent, so I'm not going to attempt it. However, actually, Dan, so here's so that's kind of, I don't really know more detail besides that. I tried looking up pinouts for these things. I'm sure they exist. I couldn't find them when I was like slightly or quickly trying to find details about them. Like exactly what each pin went to and why it's dangerous if you short them or whatever. I couldn't, that's beyond my sort of expertise. But I just know that obviously they're not the same. They're not exactly the same, which comes down to the PCB layout in the project. Check the clocks on the N64. I could. Do you want to look at one, CO? Would you like to look at? So here's what I'll say. I had another conversation. We meet to produce the newsletters. I meet with PixelFX, the PixelFX team, when it comes time to write the newsletters. And so we had one recently, but at the end of that meeting, I told them about the issue that I was having, and Dan offered to take a look at the console that has the gem in it. So I'm actually going to be, that was the other thing I wanted to accomplish tonight, was to take the motherboard out of the Trogtech case and just prepare that motherboard for mailing back to Dan. Because Dan is going to try and take a look and see if that is fixable. Consoles for You also offered to look at one, but I think he lives in Switzerland or Sweden or something. And I don't know how much that would cost, because I do have, I have both of the N64s. So one, I'm going to send one to Dan. And the Ultra HDMI one, I might still try to send to Consoles for You. But CO, if you're obviously closer, if you want to look at it instead, or maybe you think it's something that I could easily. Oh, hey Artemis. All the pins are shifted by a millimeter. I would say that this is less than millimeter. Just judging from my eyes. It's less than a millimeter, maybe half a millimeter or something. So it's very tight tolerances for these the pin spacings here. All the pins are shifted by about a millimeter. Whether these work or not is entirely down to the manufacturing tolerance on the PCBs. That is what Mason said. Mason mentioned that sometimes some of them work and some of them don't. But to me, okay, I guess that's fair. So does that mean that this is never going to be a perfect project, I guess? Or are there methods that you can use to make the tolerances better, or like guarantee the tolerance of this part? I guess what you could end up doing is like make a jig, or so like take an N64 console, sacrifice the expansion connector, the expansion pack connector, right? So like harvest that, map its footprint so that you could put it onto a new PCB and make some kind of a jig where you could test if there's a short. So like if you know what lines are being shorted, you could make a jig or something where after they're manufactured, you put them in your jig, and if the jig gives you like a green light or whatever, then it's a good one. If it doesn't give you a green light or whatever, it's a short. Like that's something that probably could be made, so that if somebody was going to produce these, they could guarantee that they were good before they were ever sent to a customer. So that's what I don't know. Okay, so I guess we could do that. Do you know what pin I've actually never used my oscilloscope. I have one, but we could learn. I don't know how enough time. Do I have time to do that? Wait, Artemis, you ordered these and it was fine? Oh, you built some and they work, but it was just luck. Huh, okay. If I wire the pack directly to the N64, yeah, you could do that, I think. Although I don't know if the trace distance makes a difference with something like memory. Memory, it might be high frequency enough where it might get thrown off by the extra length from the wires. Good, learn now. Okay, yeah, that's fine. If you want to teach me how to learn how to use my oscilloscope, that's funny. You're not cheap at it. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily being cheap. I mean, I've never had an issue with PCBWay PCBs ever before, so I don't know if it's luck or what. I don't know how Nintendo. Obviously, Nintendo had it down to a science when they were working on them. But I don't know. It could just be tolerances. Maybe Nintendo's tolerances are a lot higher with their manufacturer. Okay. If the footprint was adjusted correctly, it would probably be fine. Okay, so it's probably a mixture of both. You probably could get lucky and produce it, but I would just hold off until there's a more concrete way to produce these things, or maybe somebody will, figure it out. Okay, so, to see if it will kill a third N64. Yeah, I bought another N64 on eBay that was marked as not working, and it confirmed it doesn't work, so I'd have to troubleshoot this. It didn't come with a memory pack, so I bought it because they said no video was being output. So I thought it was because they didn't have a memory pack in it. I thought I could get a cheap N64 that way, but it doesn't have video. Anyways. Okay, all right, so how can we do this? I was not planning to I was not planning to actually dive into this, but I guess we can. I guess we can look at the CPU. Well, how the hell? How are you supposed to? I guess you have to take it like part of the way apart. Pull the port off it for test pack. The bad footprint combined with manufacturing tolerance is the problem. My working examples barely line up with the pins. They're right on the edge. Okay, got it. Yeah, I just visually I can see that there are flaws. Like it's not if you tried to line up the PCBs exactly, the pins are not lined up in certain spots. So, obviously the tolerance is left to right this way. So like the spacing, it's the spacing this direction. So like whether or not these pins are lined up in the center of the PCB that is being routed, but also what they're tracing here. So, and there's obvious flaws with, in my screenshot I actually showed on this side, this pin on the reproduction is thicker than that one. So I think that is actually moving the whole thing over by a fraction of a millimeter, and it all just kind of adds up. Okay, so I guess in order for us to do the to see if the CPU is dead, I have to take the motherboard apart, correct? I guess, right? This was the other thing that I was going to do tonight anyways. I wanted to prepare this console to send to Dan. So let's go ahead and start doing that. But I suppose if Theo's still here and he can guide us through, or Artemis, I have I don't know if you guys are familiar with, what the hell is my oscilloscope? Oh, it's a... Fuck. I dropped my... Oh, God. Hold on. I dropped some on the floor. Dropping things on the floor. Dropping things on the floor. Dropping my bits. That down before I drop it again. I have a Siglent SDX 1104X-E. This is my oscilloscope. Never used it. I bought it a while ago. It's a 4-channel scope. Never used it. Okay, so let's try it. All right, so let's let's figure it out, I guess. Oh, I dropped this thing too. All right, first step is to take the motherboard out. Can PCBWay do a clear PCB, then you can line it up with a real expansion pack? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to wait for somebody else who's smarter to do it. Figure it out. All right, let's take this apart. Got to use my gain bit driver. Internet's being trash. Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of melting everyone's faces with like a 50 megabit stream. Ah! Video deserves a thumbs up just for showing a real life oscilloscope. 24 watching now. Boosty boost. Yeah. I'm a bad streamer when it comes to promoting myself. So the problem is this case is the threads were new, right? So I put when you order a case, like a replacement case for a console, the plastic bosses have no threads in them. So that's the part that is hard. Ugh. Struggling. Sorry. My God, I think I actually used a screwdriver. I should not, or a drill. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Let's see, is my drill down here? No. I could use the other one. I'm going to use the Ultra HDMI one, because I think I'll be able to actually get the screws out of this. Okay, that's way easier. Yeah, it's probably your internet. I have 2 gig symmetrical fiber. So I'm able to stream at 4K, 60 FPS. Well, I choose to do it. I guess I could stream in 1080p, but we're in the world of 4K now. God, this is thrilling content. Just screwing screws. Who would win? One streamer or six screwy boys? Okay, I think these are all more or less done here. Let's see. Okay, let's flip and lose all the screws. No, just kidding. I currently am sending YouTube AV1. Yes. YouTube supports VR cams now. That's kind of cool. It's like virtual output from a VR headset. All right, so we're getting there. I friggin' hate disassembling the N64. Okay, so I think we have to, remove the heatsink. The CPU is on the top side here, right? All right. All right, let's go. Gotta get a Phillips screwdriver. Oh, I see. You can do 360 view Okay, so I think this screw needs to come out. I think these black screws need to come out. All these screws need to come out. Oh, yeah, I have to be careful of that. Yep. Like a cam can see in a 360 view. Oh, I see. So like the user, the YouTube user could view a 360 degree or a 3D environment is what you're saying. So you could like somehow stream a 3D environment. That'd be cool. I can't wait for VR to actually be good. Not good, but like mainstream, I guess is what I meant. Because I think that's kind of a cool. I'm actually, you know, a lot of people like to give. Here, I'm just going to turn autofocus off so that the camera is not bouncing around. A lot of people freaking gave what's his face? Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg, gave him nonsense when he was all about metaverse and things. But I really think that the idea of metaverse is really cool. Just like a place where you can go and like hang out with your friends, play different games, but all at the same time, you know, virtually, and you can kind of see your friends, and like it doesn't break the immersiveness, right? So like if you're playing games with friends, as soon as you stop being in a game, or maybe if you're in a match or something and you're waiting for the next match, your immersion is kind of gone. I guess there's voice chat, which kind of adds some immersion. You know what I'm trying to say? Immersion. But I think that something like metaverse, that type of idea, would be actually cool in the future. Zuck banned many of my accounts. Jeez. Yeah, I don't really. Oh yeah, like Second Life. Yeah, yeah. I know there's like what chat, VR chat was a popular thing. But I mean, imagine VR chat, and then like, oh, okay, you get bored of playing VR chat, hop into like VR Counter-Strike or something, and like, you know, you're with your friends virtually still as you're waiting in a game or lobby or whatever, just messing around. Or maybe like VR chat is the lobby or something, like a Roblox kind of thing. I don't know. I think it's still cool, and I think there's still a future for that when VR is better and not as expensive as it is. I'm pretty sure that I need to remove all these screws, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I don't need to take it out of the shell. Okay. Just so I got the heatsink off. So say you're in a car, the chat can pan around the side of the car. Yeah, right. Yep, or it'd be cool to have like a real-time like camera operator, like another person in, like, let's say like Kai Cenat was streaming something and he was playing the game, and like a third person or a second person was like controlling what the audience saw in a camera, like they could pan around and stuff. That would be kind of cool. But I guess that can already happen, probably. Just, whoops, I probably just needed to remove the black screws. And these ones here. Little ones for the slot. Okay, then I think I should be able to just take this the metal top part here. Ready Player One. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was a, I know some people didn't love that movie, but I think it's a cool and interesting, well, okay, other than the like dystopianness of it, I think it's kind of a cool future that I would, well, okay, right. Beside the dystopianness of it. Oh, missed the screw. Oh. I never remember how to take the top off. Okay. All right. So I think now this should come off. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever. The heat sinks actually being on here is probably better, because if I power the console on. Okay. So which one's the CPU? I think this is the video chip, right? Because that's the one that the flex from the Ultra HDMI is soldered to. Is this the CPU here? guess. I think Ready Player One is as bad as Postal. I prefer Harry Potter as a real-life gamer movie. That was great on a whole new level. Cio, do you want to get in a voice chat? U4. You want to check U4. Okay. Do you want to get on Discord voice chat? Okay, which one's U4? I see U14, U7, U5. Oh, I see. Well, under here? Oh, you're doing homework. Okay. This is U4, right? Hopefully I can do that without poking this. Do you know which pin going into U4? Okay, it's time to switch to bye-bye, camera. Okay, that's the DAC for analog. Ah! Okay, sorry. Okay, looks like Tim Worthington has the pin out. Okay, cool. There's no way I'm gonna learn how to use my oscilloscope though in the half hour. I don't have a hard cut, but hard stop, I guess, but yeah. All right, let's look. Okay, so I'm looking for Tim Worthington's N64 documentation. What was that popping noise? You guys hear me okay still? If it's a black screen, maybe the DAC is not receiving the clock properly, which also implies the clock not going to the N64 HDMI card. Yeah, I got it. Just press the auto button a lot? Okay, well, we'll get there. All right, so I don't think this is the right. Maybe this? Okay, while I'm doing this, I guess I can get the oscilloscope out. I just need one channel, right? One pluggy thing. I don't know if the colors make a difference. They're all 10x. Oh, wait, 1x or 10x. Okay. I think they're all the same. They just have a color-coded little thingamabob. You only need one probe. Okay. Just use auto a lot. Now here's a conundrum. I don't have a place to put this piece of garbage. Maybe I could put it over here. Moving the stuff out of the way. Oh, also, I am still, I still would like to do the giveaway, the summer cart giveaway. So I still have to finish the other 9 summer cart PCBs thing, and flash the firmware and stuff. So that's still coming sometime. Okay, so that kind of works. Let me plug it in. See? We're getting power. Okay, sick. You guys can't really see it though, which is unfortunate, but that's all right. I don't know. Okay, that's plugged in. Got it. Okay, I have a probe. Here's a list all type N64. Oh, go to install guide. Okay. Installation guide. Okay, DAC pinout. Ah, okay, here we go. Shit, what, how am I supposed to be able to do this? How am I supposed to be able to see which DAC I have? The DACs are different, right? Oh, I see. Mine starts with VDC. I can't see the rest of it, but I see VDC, so it's this first one here. Oh, you know what? Clock is underneath the flex cable. Oops. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to reach it. The clock is under here. It's pin 11, which is underneath of that. I probably could get lucky and poke around in it, but damn it, that's annoying. Could I really don't want to desolder this. Hey, Obi-Wan. Well, now the heck, do I have a grabber? To grab on the N64 side? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, I don't want to desolder it. Do we know where that's going to? It's probably one of these pins here, right? Oh, on the other side of the board? Okay, let's find the clock. Well, first of all, which one is the CPU? Let's see. N64. Schematic? Okay. Oh. Okay. We're reading about the CPU here. MIPS. Where is the... I just saw a picture. Where is that picture? This picture here. Oh, sorry, my head is in the way. Okay, so the CPU is the left side here. Okay, if I... Here. Shit, I don't have a button for my microscope, unfortunately, on my Stream Deck. Okay. Okay, so I lifted the heatsink off of the CPU. Let's get a look at this bad boy, see what model we have. I don't know how many different variants of the CPU there are. There might be only one. Let's clean it off. Okay. Let's turn down the light brightness. Okay, I have a CPU-A. Is that what that means? NUSA? Okay, so now I can type in N64 CPU NUSA pinout. DAC clock and sync clock will be on the N64 HDMI. Yeah, so it's probably one of those pins on the flex cable, but I don't know if the Actually, it would probably be the same pinout as the Retro Gem, and I think actually the Retro Gem documentation has good. Shit, you know what? I'll try that. Let's see. N64 Retro Gem documentation. Boom. Click here for mainboard revision. I thought there was. Oh, maybe not. Pin 11 on U9. Where's U9? Oh, U9 is the RCP. Oh, okay. Yeah, so pin 9 is one of the pins on the flex cable. I thought in the Retro Gem installation instructions there was a pin out of the flex. Hey. Hey, P-clock. P-clock? B-clock? I don't know what P-clock and B-clock are. Okay, what's P-clock go to? Okay. I'm going to see if P-clock is pin 11. If P-clock is pin 11, then I think then that means that pin 11 on the RCP is the right one. Obviously, this is the Ultra HDMI. This is not the P-clock goes to the DAC. Okay. P-clock is what we want to check. Okay. Obviously, this is not the same flex cable. But let's see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, yeah, so it's this pin. This pin here. If we say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, okay. All right, that's the pin we want to look at. All right, cool. Should I solder a little wire onto it so that I can get my probe onto it better? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Instead of, actually, no. Oh, does this probe, does this probey thing have a cap on it? Oh, it does. Okay, so I have this part of the probe, right? So I could poke it here, but I might be more comfortable if I soldered a wire to it. All right, let's see. What do I have? What kind of a wire do I have? I have this 34 gauge wire from the Ashita. Probe has a sharp point also if you pull the hook off. Okay. Well, all right. I don't really know what I'm doing with the thing, the oscilloscope. So what I would like to do is I would like to solder a wire onto it so that I can hook the thingy and then solder one wire to a ground, then use the clip. Well, I could use any ground, right? The board. I could use the. Oops, that doesn't really zoom out. I could use something like this, right? The edge of the board for ground. I'm guessing. All right, I'm going to try to solder a wire onto pin 11 here on top of the flex. This is going to go well, right? Hopefully not brick this. I mean, it's already bricked, but this is for science. Edge is good, okay. All right, let's get my 34 gauge wire. That's the smallest wire I have, or the thinnest wire, I guess I should say. I've got to melt some of the plastic off of it. Let's turn my iron on. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of doing some of this off screen here. Okay, I'm trying to melt the enamel off the, I have this 34 gauge magnet wire and it has like an enamel coating. But I need to remove the enamel coating so that when I actually connect the thing, it'll actually be connected and not covered with the enamel. Okay. All right. Here we go. Oops, shit. Okay. Sorry, my okay, so it's this wire here. Okay. I'm going to tin the wire. Okay. And then move it closer. Let me get some flux. You know what? I'm going to use this because this is a flex cable. I'm going to use the my VS213 here. Let's melt that a little bit so I can actually see what the hell I'm doing. Okay. Shit. Oh, you know what else I could do? I could do it vertically. Probably better to do in this particular case. This is actually kind of hard. I can't really tell where the hell my wire is when I Where's my soldering iron? Shit. Okay. Oh God, it's touching both pins. Stop that. Okay, sorry. I know this is extreme cringe. Sorry. Had a Monster Energy today. Okay, sick. Did that work? I think that may have worked. I know you guys probably can't tell. Okay, cool. I believe that's the clock. You guys can't even see that wire. Oh, because it's out of focus, but it's there. Okay, cool. So, what do I need? I don't think I need a video source, right? I will need what, an expansion pack, or what's the original one called? The bypass thingamabob? The non-expansion pack one. Okay, jumper pack. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. All right, so jumper pack is in. Let's switch back now to the overhead. Let's turn that off. Turn autofocus back on. Okay. Okay, sorry, this is sort of a nightmare. Oh. I can cut my wire here. Okay. Yeah, the jumper pack is in the right way, I think. Clean up the flux. Okay, I could do that. I don't think that'll matter, but oh, I guess I probably should have still used the microscope, huh? This part. Oh well. I think I should be able to clip it right onto that thing. I don't know if I necessarily need. I think the other problem I'm going to run into is. Is that gonna work? Okay, I suppose that works. And then I clamped the clamper. This is gonna be hard. You guys are gonna have to trust. I clamped the ground lead onto the ground piece. The probe part is not touching any other metal. It's just touching that wire over here. Are we in a Nintendo? Yes, we're in an N64. So now I needed a power thing. Power thing. I just had one. Where is it? Did I put it back? Probably did. Hello? Oh, it's in this other N64. Ha! Found it. Okay. All right, so now I need to figure out how to use my oscilloscope. Got the expansion pack in. Or the make sure no metal is hanging in there. Got the cord, power cord plugged in. Here we go. Okay. No, we're trying to diagnose why this, if you watch the beginning of the video, I talked about this open source expansion pack thing, and it seems to have killed this console, so we're just trying to diagnose what the problem might be. Okay, so I think this is good. Now I've just got to figure out how to... Am I supposed to calibrate the probes or something? Okay, Siglant. Yep, it's booting up. Okay. Auto. Normal. Slow acquisition. Fuck calibration. Okay. Make it very easy. Just connect the probe to the oscilloscope, then turn the oscilloscope on, then turn N64 on and push auto. Okay. Sick. All right, I think we're good. Now I just got to turn it on, right? Fuck. Okay. Here goes nothing. Auto. Acquiring. Okay, I see something. It's not... How do I zoom in? Shit. How do I go up? Auto. I'll hit auto again. Auto. What is the frequency? Where would it say the frequency? I see. Does it continuously? Should you have a game in? Oh, maybe. That probably wouldn't stop the CPU from working, but I'll put a thing in just in case. I know, but there's a lot of... Hold on. I wish that I could show you. How could I show you? Okay, I've got an idea. Potentially dangerous. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys are gonna go for a little ride here. Okay, well, you guys didn't go on the ride, but the camera did. Okay. Okay, hello. This shaky camera brought to you by PCBWay. I kind of forgot that I had that on here. Okay, so the N64 is off. Got here late, but there's an old Twitter post about this project saying depending on how the PCB factory... Yeah, we talked about that. That was console for use thing. Put the scope under the microscope. Okay, so it's off right now. Let's turn it on. It's already in auto. See, something is happening. See, when I click the... Whoa, when I turn it on. So now I don't know how to read it, though. I see at the top it says 100 milliseconds. I don't know what that means. And over here, there's some things over here. Sorry if it's blurry. I can't really... if I put it in manual focus, then I can adjust it. Is any of that readable for you guys? There's a setting you have to get into, maybe measure, but it's sampling at 100 megahertz. That's why it's 100 milliseconds. That looks like the clock is working. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not doing nothing. Let's see. Is there a measure mode? Measure? I see a button that says measure. All measure off. Source channel 1, type, clear, statistics. Nanoseconds? Is that the measurement there at the bottom? You guys see that? No, you guys can't see that. Oh, okay. Is this something like 752 nanoseconds? Does that make sense? Okay, well, we've discovered that the clock is working. Let me switch to this overhead camera and put you guys back over there. Well, so does that make you guys more or less optimistic that the problem is fixable? I guess that means that the CPU is not dead, right? Try all measure. Okay, let me try that again. I'm not moving the camera again, but I'll measure off. I'll measure on. Okay. Oh shit. Peak to peak is 1 volt. Top 2.28 volts. Standard deviation 348 volts. Oh, frequency 1.32 megahertz. Is that what we're looking for? 1.32 megahertz is what it says. Is that a measurement? A good measurement? All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I think I'm going to leave it at that. That does turn on and off when I turn the console off. So the clock is working, as far as I know. So I'm just gonna fix my camera here. For some reason my Bluetooth headphones are exploding. Okay. 1.32 megahertz slow. But the fact you have some clock come out N64 is not dead. Okay, well. Hooray. I still think that I'm going to send it to Dan. No, the other one. Apparently I have to get a jackhammer out to unscrew the screws on it. But this other one, I guess I'll just wait for Dan to diagnose the other one, and then I could potentially fix this other one. So, well, thank you, CEO. I appreciate you giving me the confidence. It's not like you didn't really do much other than tell me what the hell to do. But I haven't really been afraid to use this. I didn't know how to use it, so it kind of went unused. Dan fixed fast. Yeah. Yeah, Dan probably would figure it out in a few minutes, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully. So, anyways, at least it could potentially be reversible. The damage. I guess that kind of nicely ties this up. Does anybody else have any questions about anything? I hope I explained the whole project enough in the beginning. I kind of talked for a long time about that. So if you're just joining now or late or whatever, you can go back and watch the VOD for the whole history of this project and stuff. So I don't know. How do you turn this thing off now? Do you hold the button down? Oh yeah, look at that. Sweet, the first time that I've successfully used the Siglant too. That's cool. Oh, okay. I have I'm tired. I think I'm gonna call it a night, I think. Thanks to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. I will eventually be making that video about what I consider, the near future of electronics hobbies is being able to one-click purchase a custom PCB that is working, and to enable people that don't want to or can't solder for whatever reason to be able to solder. Maybe not make complete projects, but projects that are essentially complete from PCBWay. So something like an expansion pack module, which just plugs in, or like something like the summer cart, where again it's just a matter of populating the PCB, flashing the firmware, putting it into the 3D printed case, and it's basically done. Projects like that, I see a future where you could basically one-click it and it's ready. It takes a couple weeks maybe, and then you'll get it. So, yes, I understand the basics of oscilloscope, I guess I was more so thinking about, analyzing actual analog video signals and stuff, because I know that Bob has a lot of information about like TTL level voltages and things. Like that's all stuff that I had aspirations of making videos about, just kind of like learning about or learning and getting more details about the basics of analog video. Is it supposed to be about 12 megahertz? Found it because the probe is set to 1x or 10x and the scope side isn't set the same. That's possible. Yeah. F calibration apparently. No, I don't know. It probably is that, but it's not nothing. You would think that if it wasn't getting clock at all, it would just be nothing, right? I think. All right, well. Oh, Artemis, while you're here, if you're still here, Artemis, congrats on the SMS. Is that what it's called, right? The or SVS Super Video Switcher. Is that what it's called? I'm not going to say that I'm not disappointed that Pixel Effects didn't get there first, but I think that it's a very it's a good idea, good project to integrate the Switch, directly with the upscalers to kind of give them a lot more functionality. That's kind of the original, I had originally gone down the path of trying to make an auto switching board for my Extron Crosspoint. That's kind of how a project that I tried to do a few years ago. Didn't get very far because BNC connectors are expensive. So to make an interface to a BNC device like that is kind of cost prohibitive, for me at least. So I kind of didn't go down that path. But yeah. When bridge. Well, I'll give you some small updates that will be in the newsletter in less than a week. But unfortunately, the bridge got stuck behind Chinese New Year. So the PCB production is not just the raw PCB manufacturing, but it's also obviously gathering the materials too. So that probably takes a lot of time, especially with it. I'll give some backstory. I'm not like, when I do these newsletters and when I join these meetings for Pixel Effects, I don't learn that much about what they're doing and what they're talking about. So I know a little bit about it, right? But I kind of just know enough for me to be able to write the newsletters, stuff that pertains to customers. But obviously, there's gathering the parts and things takes a long time, plus the time to produce the PCBs. So unfortunately, that means that the bridge PCBs are not going to be ready until like mid-February. So it is what it is. They need to demonstrate it working. I've seen Dan play it. I've seen it analog input working. There's been no demonstration. That's a good idea though, CO. I think, I don't know. Dan unfortunately isn't the best when it comes to like taking like photography, but like, well, he has done it in the past. He has done like video. Obviously, he does videos of the installation of the different gems and stuff. He has videos like that. But as far as like making a professional looking sort of video covering all the topics is not really something that Dan is best at. And no offense to Dan, I think he would understand that. So, but I could talk to him about making a small, very semi-low quality as far as not the actual recording, the capturing quality of obviously from the morph output, but like the him in the video quality. So I could talk to him about actually taking some snippets, because I think that you're right. People kind of want proof of life. I've seen him play it in the Discord calls, like he has shown it to me. Obviously, I can't pixel peep in those kind of Discord calls because the quality is only 720p. Another thing that he had mentioned that he wanted me to do, so like I said, they want my help with more than just the newsletters. Eventually they wanted my help with actually producing content for the Pixel Effects channel. And one of the things that he wanted is there's actually some kind of a there's some kind of an algorithm or I don't know what you call it, like a calculation that you can do where you can compare the noise of two images, right? So, and this would just be strictly between the morph digital side and the morph analog side. He wanted to kind of have a video proving that, you know, while for most people analog to digital is probably fine. So like if you didn't want to go through the process of installing gems on every single one of your consoles, you know, analog is probably fine enough for most people. But he wanted to kind of have a video proving that analog has more, I guess, noticeably, that's sort of the point, is prove that there's noticeably more noise with analog to digital versus digital to digital. Just to have, you know, and I guess, you know, if you had that working, right, so you can prove, okay, obviously the digital side, the digital input side of the morph has lower noise than the analog side of the morph, but could you compare the analog side of the morph to the analog side of the RetroTink 4K or something and see what the noise performance is between those? That would be kind of a more scientific way to actually compare the two devices and not just say, hey, they're the same-ish. It's not noticeably different, you know. Being able to prove that they're noticeably different is another, you know. And apparently there's some kind of an algorithm. Am I doing a 3D gem installation? 3DO gem? Yeah, Deanna could probably send me one, but okay. So I'm gonna end this video, I think, with a. I don't know if I'm gonna have. I don't really know if it's burnout. I guess I'll just say I'm taking a break. I'm taking a little break from making videos. I can't say that I'm like over it, because I'm not over it. I do get inspiration from now and then. I see Artemis said, thanks, I'm swamped for the next week or two. Usually the living room is taken over by boxes. Occasionally I lack the motivation to make the videos. And if I really think about it, I haven't really taken a long-term break since I've started the channel. So I did take a break making videos, but then I was doing the constant two live streams a week. So I had to at least have enough, you know, mods or something to talk about or games to play or something, tests to do. I had enough every week to do 2 live streams. And I'm kind of getting to the point now where I just want to take a little break. And it kind of coincides with me. I have some friends that I used to play World of Warcraft with. So I kind of started playing World of Warcraft this last month. So like literally this whole month, I've been helping Pixel Effects team with the newsletter and stuff. But I basically, and that's why in the beginning I was kind of saying that not the straw. It's this project, the expansion pack project was not the straw that broke the camel's back. I guess that's okay. Yes, I think that the expansion pack frying my 2 consoles was kind of the straw that broke my back for taking a little mini break, I think. So I'm just I'm chilling. You know, I'm active on Twitter and Blue Sky. I do look at all my notifications. I'm active on Discord, not like constantly active, but I do look at all the notifications. So if you want to contact me about something or talk to me about something, I'm open anywhere. But I just need some time to not think about making videos right now. I was pleased with the performance of my latest video. If you didn't watch it's the 8BitDo controller versus the 8BitDo N64 drop-in PCB versus the Retro Fighters N64 controller, or no, GameCube controller. Sorry. There's so many things in my head all the time. And you know, I'm pleased with the performance of that video. It's actually a 2 out of 10. If you know what that means for YouTube, that means it was the second best video of the last 10 videos that I made. It was the second best, which is good. So take a 6-month break. I don't think it'll be 6 months, but it'll be a couple of months, or you know, I'm actually, the live streams are less of a commitment for me, actually. So I may end up doing more live streams just for filler. But, you know, then things like, I know the bridge is coming out next month, so like, how could I not make a video about the bridge? You know, there's so many people that would want to see just something. I know I can't be impartial anymore. I know I can't be, because I'm working with pixel effects, I can't really be like cleanly separate from, or, you know, I'm not, I'm tainted or whatever, I don't know the right words are, but at the very least, I can still give people my personal opinion about one or the other, as far as like a true morph with the analog bridge versus the RetroTink 4K. I think that's still on people's minds, especially with the costs of both, and they're being so like hundreds of dollars different. So at the very least, I think that's a big video that I'd like to do in 2025, is some kind of a, because I don't know. It won't be super in detail. I know that people really want at this point, it's sort of cutthroat. There's a lot of people, as far as people's opinions about the RetroTink, or just people's opinions about pixel effects, period, right? They're kind of, at this point, it's sort of tainted. You either like them, or maybe you've been influenced to find that they're terrible people or whatever. And I just want to do my best to just not talk about the drama aspect of both, but just like it's not just about how they look, because when I first got the morph and I had the digital, you know, at least the digital part of it, I was doing comparisons between different consoles, split screen in the live stream. So I would do the morph on one side and the RetroTink on the other side, and kind of do comparisons that way. It's not a perfect comparison, obviously, because it's through YouTube, so the YouTube compression is there. But this is even before I was working with Dan, although Dan sent me the morph to review, I suppose. I am happy with both. Like, I own both. I paid for the RetroTink 4K with my own money. Dan sent me the other one, which I probably would have ended up buying eventually anyways. I'm happy with both. They both have their trade-offs as far as like the actual functions, like the menus, how they operate, how they integrate how they integrate with other products, like obviously the RetroGems integrate highly with the morph. Plus they're cooking up some things which will be in the newsletter, like and sort of the same type of thing that you can get with the SVS and the RetroTink, right? But like auto profile switching, so using the DV1 information, so you can communicate from the RetroGem. The RetroGem can tell the morph, hey, this is the console that you're connected to, so automatically load that profile with minimal setup, right? That's kind of the goal of the a future goal of the whole project, right? Is just auto switching, so you never have to go in the menu again, basically. Both companies, both products, they have a slightly different menu system, slightly different philosophy about how things are configured. So there's a lot of things to talk about, regardless of how you think about one or the other. So that's what I wanted to do. Will you check out a RetroTink 4K CE when you do the morph? So that's the other thing, and I kind of talked about it in the beginning when I talked about I'm trying to go through my bank, basically, like anytime I buy something. This year is the first year that I will be deducting things that I buy for the channel for my taxes. And so far, I'm not even gone through my personal credit card, but the business credit card alone, I've spent over $5,000 on things. Basically, I cannot buy everything, and like I don't make enough money with my day job. I do make, I'm above median income, but I am not rich. I'm not wealthy, so I cannot buy literally everything. That was my original philosophy when I made the channel, was I was going to buy everything and review it. It's just not possible. So if Mike wants to send me one, I'd be fine to check. Even if it was a loaner, I'd be fine. I'd be happy, more than happy, to check it out. I have no ill will with Mike and things. Like, I hope I above all, I want to just stay a conduit or a bridge to talk with anybody about anything. So I try to stay out of drama, even though obviously sometimes staying out of drama or not taking a side can be viewed as taking a side, but it is what it is. That's why I'm saying anytime I think about anything, I want to have an open mind about how I talk about it, how I share things with it. So I guess I don't know how much different the RetroTink CE is compared. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's possible that maybe it has a different DAC, and maybe it has a cheaper DAC. I don't know. So if that's the case, then that might be another contender. But then, there's always more, right? There's always, you could also compare it to the OSSC Pro. Why didn't you compare it to the OSSC Pro? So I'm never going to satisfy everything with this video. So pricing is more competitive there. Yeah, so like I said, if Mike wants to send me one, or let me borrow one for a little bit, I would be happy to do that. And the same thing with the SVS. I know the SVS is a lot of money for like one that would actually satisfy my needs, because I have a need for something like that, like a giant ass switch that has all these different inputs on it. I just can't afford it right now, so I unfortunately didn't buy it the other night when it was on sale. Actually, I was out when it was on sale, so I didn't have time to buy it anyways, but I didn't have plans to buy it. So neutral. Yeah, neutral is the word. Staying neutral. I above everything, I want to be as neutral as I possibly can, although I know I get paid obviously from Dan. But here's the thing, I already have an affiliate link for the Morph. If I wanted to, I could, I could be the most rosy person and try to sell the Morph everywhere. And I've been waiting for the bridge at least before I kind of did that. But I'm just not that kind of person to like, this is a great product and not like think too deeply about all the different aspects of it. So already I know, Morph is flawed or not. Okay. Morph is not perfect. RetroTink 4K is not perfect as far as, different aspects of them. And they're kind of different. Like here's one off the top of my head. I'm annoyed that the RetroTink 4K doesn't save the settings when you go back from one menu to the other. Or maybe, no, that's the Morph. The Morph, you have to click the save button before you go back a menu, or else the settings are gone, whereas I don't think that's the case with the RetroTink. I'm annoyed that the RetroTink doesn't have Wi-Fi firmware updating. Obi-Wan, if he's still in the stream, he knows how much I don't keep my firmwares up to date. So for me, having Wi-Fi firmware updates is like, that's a really big feature. So, security, Wi-Fi security aside, that's beside the point. All right, I've talked way too much already. I don't know what's going to come next, but you can always follow me on Twitter. There's probably a link, or Blue Sky, whatever one you prefer, or message me in a comment here if you're watching the VOD and you made it this far. So, thanks everybody that's still watching. Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. True. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. I'll be back soonish with something. I'm not gone. I'm not gone for good. I like I said a little bit ago, I get occasional hints of motivation to go back and do it. I think now I'm kind of brain shut off until the analog bridge is out, and just with my insider information, I know it's going to be at least middle of February before those actually start getting shipped. And even then, that's going to only be, well, you'll see in the newsletter, but they're hopeful that there will be enough extras from the first batch of analog bridges to have a sale to people that are not. Because the original idea was, when the Morph was originally announced, it was announced to be released at the same time as the analog bridge. Like that was supposed to be an option, and that was advertised on the advertisement on the page. So people that bought the Morph thinking that the analog bridge was coming soon kind of got screwed. So the idea is, okay, those people are going to get preferential treatment, I suppose. They're going to be able to buy the bridge from this first batch, but they're confident that they have enough extras that they might be able to sell some to people outside of that group. So if that's you, then yeah. Okay. All right. Bye everybody. See you sometime. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Blue Sky. Bye-bye.